So the next topic is plateaus. So what is a plateau? A plateau is a broad, elevated flat land, and it has a flat top tableland. It has a flat top tableland, that is the land which is elevated is in the shape of a table, right? And the land is very broad and it is elevated from the surrounding areas. Its height varies from a few hundred meters to 1,000 meters. Its height varies around few hundred meters to 1,000 meters. The plateaus cover 45% of land surface. The plateaus cover 45% of the land surface, that is whatever land is there on the surface of the earth, 45% of it is plateaus. Then most plateaus are located in the semi-arid and arid regions of the world. What are arid regions? Arid regions are dry regions. So these plateaus are mostly located in dry areas and which are semi-dry areas. Some of them are also found near the tropics or on the leeward side of the mountain. Some of them are also found near the tropics or on the leeward side of the mountains. So the word arid means having little or no rain. So the word arid means having little or no rain or too dry or barren to support vegetation. When the land does not receive any rain and it is too dry and barren to support any kind of vegetation, that is no kind of vegetation, plants and different species of animals can live in that area, it is called. So when a land does not receive any amount of rain and the land is so dry and barren that no amount of vegetation, plants can be raised in those lands, it is called an arid land. Then the leeward side of the mountain is the side protected or sheltered from the wind. The leeward side of the mountain is the side protected or sheltered from the wind. Like in this case, like we discussed earlier, this was the rightward side. And this side was the leeward side. This side is always protected from strong winds coming from this side. So this side is always protected from the winds that are coming from this side. Okay, leeward side is always protected from the winds. So as we know that this side of the mountain is leeward side, and because the rain has already fallen on the rightward side, because when the water vapor rose up, it cooled down and it poured on the rightward side of the mountain. This side always remains dry and arid, and it is also called as the leeward side. This side is always protected from the winds that are coming from this side, and this is the side where the plateaus are found. Because this land is arid, that is, it is too dry, and it is on the leeward side. Of the mountain. Then the plateaus are also found near the tropics. Let us say this is Earth. Earth is in the shape of a sphere. Then in the middle of it there is equator. And these are the two tropics. On both of the sides of the equator, these are the two tropics. First one is Tropic of Cancer, and this is in the northern hemisphere. And this is the southern hemisphere. And the southern hemisphere has Tropic of Capricorn. So the area between the equator and the tropics, that is this area, is called as tropics. The tropics are the regions of Earth surrounding the equator. And these are the regions surrounding the equator. So these are the tropics. The difference between a plateau and a mountain is that a mountain is an elevated land. A mountain is an elevated landform while the plateau is an elevated flat land. So the difference between a plateau and a mountain is that a mountain is an elevated landform. A mountain is an elevated landform and the plateau is an elevated flat land which is different from the surrounding place. Like these are the plains and here is a plateau. This is a plateau. It is a elevated flat land which is in the shape of a table, and it is different. The elevation of this land is different from the plain surrounding the plateau. The elevation of this plateau is different from the plains surrounding it. The plains are at this level, and the plateau is at this level. So the elevated flat land is different from the surrounding plains. Then the Tibet Plateau is the highest plateau in the world. The Tibet Plateau is the highest plateau in the world. Please note that a plateau can also be elevated from one side. Okay, a plateau can also be elevated from one side. Like this was a plateau. This plateau was elevated from both the sides. But even if the plateau is elevated from one side, it can still be called a plateau. Like this is the plain, and this is the elevated land plateau. It's called a plateau, and this plateau is raised from one side only. This is the side of the plateau which is raised from the ground, and this side is not raised from the ground. Still it can be called a plateau. Now moving on to the next topic, which is types of plateau. Okay, so now the different types of plateaus. Depending upon their origin and location, there can be different types of plateaus. The first one is the tectonic plateau. The vertical earth movement may uplift vast areas of considerable size. A tectonic plateau is formed because of the vertical movement of the earth. Then they are termed as continental plateaus or tectonic plateaus. They are also called as continental plateaus, and they have a fairly uniform altitude. That is, their height is uniform at the top. At the top of the plateau, the surface is uniform. They have uniform altitude, that is, they have a uniform height. Examples are plateau regions of peninsular India and Western Australia, Greenland, etc. Then see the figure I have drawn here of a continental or tectonic plateau. As you can see that this plateau has been raised up and it is surrounded by sea on both of the sides. This plateau has been raised up from the ground and it is surrounded by sea on both of the sides. It is called a continental or tectonic plateau. Then comes the intermontane plateau. What is an intermontane plateau? When plateaus are partly or completely enclosed by high-fold mountains, they are known as intermontane plateaus. When plateaus are partly or completely enclosed by high-fold mountains, they are known as intermontane plateaus. See the figure that I have drawn here of an intermontane plateau. See, the plateau is surrounded by mountain ranges on both of the sides. This intermontane plateau is surrounded by mountain ranges on both of the sides. So this is an intermontane plateau. It is a raised land surrounded by mountain ranges on both of the sides. And these mountain ranges are standing right above the plateau. These mountain ranges are standing right above the plateau. They can also be here and here, right? So whenever there is a plateau in between mountain ranges, they can be at the top of the plateau as well, or they can be at the sideways. So whenever there are mountain ranges at the sideways or at the top of the plateau, it is called an intermontane plateau because it is surrounded by mountain ranges on both of the sides. Examples of intermontane plateau are Plateau of Tibet, Bolivian Plateau in Andes, Columbia Plateau in USA and Tarim Basin in Asia. Then comes the third one, volcanic plateau. What is a volcanic plateau? Here I have drawn the figure of a volcanic plateau. As you can see that at the bottom of the earth's surface there is magma, and this magma is continuously getting heated up and it has a very high pressure. And when the pressure and the heat builds up, this magma flows out through the vent and outside the crater to form a volcano, whereas it can also flow out from the openings on the earth's surface, which are called as fissures. These cracks on the earth's surface are also called as fissures. When this molten magma flows out from the fissure and gets accumulated on the land like this, it is called a volcanic plateau. So the molten lava may come out of the cracks. The molten lava may come out of the cracks on the earth's surface, and slowly due to the volcanic activity, because of the volcanic activity, because of the pressure being built up here, the molten magma oozes out from the molten magma comes out of the earth's surface because of the volcanic activity, because of the pressure that has been building up here. Because of the volcanic activity, because the pressure and heat being built up deep inside the earth's surface, the magma slowly comes out to the earth's surface due to the volcanic activity. An important point to note is that in a volcano, the eruption is very violent, whereas in a plateau, the magma flows out slowly from the openings on the earth's surface. It flows out slowly, whereas in a volcano, the eruption is quite violent. This is also a difference between a volcanic plateau and a volcano. Then sheets of basaltic lava are spread upon one another to form lava. So what is the definition of fissure? Fissure is a linear volcanic vent. It is a linear volcanic vent through which lava erupts, usually without any explosive activity. It means that the lava does not erupt violently from the fissures, rather it moves slowly up the vents and gets collected on the earth's surface to form a volcanic plateau. Fissure is a linear volcanic vent through which lava erupts, usually without any explosive activity. Then what does the word basalt mean? The word basalt means a fine-grained, dark, basic igneous rock, a fine-grained, dark-colored, basic igneous rock. What is an igneous rock? An igneous rock is any crystal-like or glass-like rock formed by cooling and solidification of molten earth material. When the molten earth material cools down and forms into a crystal or glass-like rock, it is called an igneous rock. When the molten earth's material cools down and solidifies into a glass-like or crystal-like rock, it is called an igneous rock. Coming back to the definition, the basalt means a fine-grained, dark-colored, basic igneous rock, also the most common volcanic rock. Basalt is also the most common volcanic rock and most common rock type in Earth's crust. It is also the most common rock type on the Earth's crust. Then the fourth type of plateau is a dissected plateau. What is a dissected plateau? A dissected plateau is eroded by a continuous process of weathering and erosion. The surface of these plateaus become highly irregular. A dissected plateau is nothing but just a plateau which has been eroded. The surface of the plateau has been eroded by the weathering of the different weathering agents such as water, air, etc. So, the surface of a dissected plateau becomes quite irregular, and it is because of the continuous process of weathering and erosion. See this figure that I have drawn here of a dissected plateau. This was the smooth surface of a plateau. But with time, what happened? The different weathering agents such as the river, water and the air cut through the smooth surface of this plateau and the surface of the plateau became very irregular. As you can see, this smooth surface has been made into a very irregular surface like this, and the river has cut through the surface of the plateau, and this eroded surface of the plateau is called a dissected plateau. Okay, so the last one is a Piedmont Plateau. What is a Piedmont Plateau? A Piedmont Plateau lies between mountain ranges on one side and the sea or plains on the other side. A Piedmont Plateau lies between mountain ranges on one side and sea or plains on the other side. See the figure that I have drawn here of a Piedmont Plateau. As you can see that this is a plateau, a Piedmont Plateau. This plateau has mountain ranges on one side and on the other side it has rivers or plains. This can be a river, this can also be a plain. So a Piedmont Plateau has mountain ranges on one side and river or plain on the other side. Colorado Plateau in North America and Patagonia Plateau in South America are good examples of Piedmont Plateau. And see that a Piedmont Plateau is formed over a mountain. So there are three things to note: that it is surrounded by mountain ranges on one side, and on the other side it is surrounded by a river or plain, and it is on top of a mountain. Then how plateaus are important to us? Okay, so now please open page number 146 and see the map 6.11. As you can see in the map, there are different plateaus which are important from examination point of view, and these plateaus are located in different countries. So let us see the countries in which these plateaus are located. As you can see that there are different major plateaus marked on the world map, and these plateaus are located in different countries. Let us start from the top left corner of the map. The first one is Columbia Plateau. It is located in the country United States. Columbia Plateau is located in United States. Then let us come down to Colorado Plateau. Colorado Plateau is in North America. It is in North America. Then further move down to Mexican Plateau. Mexican Plateau is in Mexican state of Chihuahua. Mexican Plateau is in the state of Chihuahua. Write down Mexican state of Chihuahua for Mexican Plateau. Then further move down to Bolivian Plateau near the Tropic of Capricorn. Write down Andes, A-N-D-E-S. A-N-D-E-S. Write down Andes, South America. Then again, see at the top of the map there is Ozark Plateau. Ozark Plateau is near the Tropic of Cancer, just beside the Colorado Plateau, and it is in south central US, Kansas. South central United States, and the name of the state is Kansas. Then see Canadian Shield. Canadian Shield is in North America. The Canadian Shield is in North America. Then just beside the Canadian Shield there is Labrador Plateau, and the Labrador Plateau is located in eastern Canada. In eastern Canada. See at the center of the map there is High Wind. There is High Wind, and High Wind is in South Africa. It is in South Africa. Then just above the High Wind there is Bié Plateau. Bié Plateau is in Angola, and Angola is in Southwest Africa. Southwest Africa. Then see the Hoggar Plateau, Hoggar, Hoggar Plateau. It is in Algeria. It is in Algeria. Then see the Mongolian Plateau, which is just above the Tibet Plateau. See, Mongolian Plateau is in Mongolia. It is in Mongolia. Mongolia is an independent state of China. Mongolia is an independent state of China. Then see Yuan Plateau. Yuan Plateau is just beside Deccan Plateau. See Yuan Plateau. Deccan, just beside the Deccan Plateau in India, there is Yuan Plateau, which is in southwest China. It is in southwest China. Yuan Plateau is in southwest China. Yuan Plateau is just beside the Deccan Plateau and below the Tibet Plateau. The Deccan Plateau is in India, as we all know. And see, the last one is Kimberley Plateau. See the bottom left corner of the map, there is Kimberley Plateau. At the bottom left corner of the map, there is Kimberley Plateau and it is in northwest Australia. It is in northwest Australia. Kindly mark the names of the countries in which all of these plateaus are located. It is important to know that which plateau is located in which country, right? It is not enough to just know the names of the plateau. We should also know that which plateau is located in which country. Moving on to the next topic, which is plains. Okay, so now what are plains? Plains are most thickly populated regions of the world. They are most thickly populated regions of the world, and plains are broad lowlands, either level or rolling and undulating. Plains are broad lowlands. They are broad lowlands, either leveled or rolling and undulating. So what is the meaning of the word rolling and undulating? I have written it here that rolling means land with lots of gentle ups and downs without steep sides. So when a land has a surface with a lot of gentle ups and downs without steep sides, it is called rolling. And undulating means to have a continuous up and down shape or movement like waves on the sea or wavy appearance. It means that the plains have a wavy appearance and that the surface of the plains is such that it is continuously moving up and down. It is continuously moving up and down. It means that the surface has a lot of waves and those waves are such that they do not have steep sides. That means that they are not sharp. Right? These plains have continuous ups and downs, and these ups and downs are quite gentle without steep sides. Plains are not more than 200 meters above the mean sea level. Plains are not more than 200 meters above the mean sea level. They are formed by the deposition of silt and sediments brought by the rivers and their tributaries. So, how are plains formed? Plains are formed by the deposition. It means accumulation or collecting of silt and sediments. What is silt? I written silt here. A granular material. Granular means in the form of grains. In the form of very small grains. A granular material of a size between sand and clay. So, it has a size between the size of a sand and the size of a clay, and it is carried away along by a river or running water, and silt is carried away along by a river or running water. So coming back, what we were discussing, they are formed by the deposition of silt and sediments brought by the rivers. The plains are formed by the deposition of silt and sediments brought by the rivers and their tributaries. The plains are very fertile because the silt which is coming down from the mountains is very rich in minerals. The silt which is coming down from the mountains is very rich in minerals. As we all know that the mountains have a rich source of minerals So when the silt is coming down from the mountains with the river, it carries different minerals with itself, and the silt is deposited onto the plains, and the plains become very fertile. That is why most of the plains are very fertile and useful for agricultural activities. What is the meaning of the word sediment? Sediment means a naturally occurring material. A naturally occurring material that is broken down by the processes of weathering, and erosion is subsequently transported by the action of wind, water, and this sediment is transported by the action of wind and water. They are moved and deposited in a new location, and this sediment is moved and deposited in a new location. So a sediment is a naturally occurring material that is broken down by the processes of weathering and erosion and is subsequently transported by action of wind, water. That is, they are moved and deposited in a new location. I am writing the word here, weathering. This is the spelling of weathering. Weathering means wear and tear that happens to a surface because of the various agents such as water, wind, etc. Then there are different types of plains. The first one is a structural plain, which is the original low-lying area of the world. A structural plain is a original low-lying area of the world. Structural plain. And the second one is depositional plains. Depositional plains are formed by the deposition by rivers and their tributaries. Where the rivers bring silt and sediments along with them, along with the running water, and that silt and sediment is deposited in a new place, and those depositions of the river start a new plain. It is called depositional plain. Then the plains that are formed by these silt and sediments are called depositional plains. Second one is depositional. By the movement of the glaciers under the force of gravity. Glacial plains are formed by the movement of glacier under the force of gravity. You know that glaciers are also formed over the earth's surface. Like this is a sheet of glacier. This is a sheet of glacier, and what happens that this side of the glacier becomes very slippery and the glacier starts to glide over the surface, and the surface which now opens is called a glacial plains, and the land which is now uncovered is called a glacial plains, and the plains which are now uncovered